My dear and dear students, NBA has done it again. Yay! Jan 31st. I don't know. I mean, every year they have to do this kind of a drama, which is really sad. See, for them, it is all about making a simple circular and announcing it on their website. I sometimes fail to understand that they don't know the lives of 30,000 students preparing. Though dental obviously is very small compared to the medical, they have lakhs of students preparing. But I was a very small community of hardly around 30,000 students appearing, but it's 30,000 students, and we cannot be taken lightly, right? Now, this particular date, Jan 31st, my dear students, I think, it does not make much sense, simply because, see, most of them, if you're looking at the students who are what do you say, the repeater batch, or as the case may be, most of them are probably completing their internship by March or by April, right? Now, if they're and they're also eligible for the exams, right? They're also eligible for this, so they're completing their internship in the month, probably end of March, probably end of April, and all of them are eligible for the NEET. Okay. This is how it has always been for the last so many years. And your counseling, even if they keep it the earliest, they cannot keep the counseling before June. So your examination is on Jan 31st, and the internship of most of the students who are in this present batch, of the repeaters batch, or as the case may be, is going to be in March or April, and they're also eligible for the exams. And counseling is going to be held in the month of June. So you have a huge 6 months of gap. What is the NBA going to do with the results? Having the results of the examination 6 months before the counseling date, we have never really understood. I still remember this happened around 2 years back. The date was changed, my dear students, almost 6 times. Can you beat that? It was first in Jan, then Feb, then it went to June, then again it came back to May. There's a lot of mayhem as to when and how the date is going to be finally confirmed. It is always tentative, never getting a confirmed date. And then in one of the exams, I'm not sure exactly which year, 1 week before the NEET MDS exam, like they've even released the hall ticket, and then the examination was postponed by another 1 month. So there's always a lot of speculation about this particular thing. But of course, March, second week or third week would have been an ideal date, simply because most of the students who have completed their internship, your counseling is going to begin in June, so that will give them 2 months of time to start off, and keep all the results ready, inform all the state governments, various state dental councils, because always the counseling is always between the MCC, that is a medical council, as well as the state government. So they have to go in tandem. The first round is the All India round, then comes the first round of the state, then first round, then the second round of All India, then the second round of state. So it goes like that. So this process of informing all the state governments, keeping their seats ready, and all of that, I agree, takes around 2 months' time. It's not easy. All the states of the country should send in their seats, and if there is a DCI compliance remaining and all of that. Okay, let's not think about all that, but it does take around 2 months' time after your exams for all the state governments to give in their seats, and then for them to come up with a counseling matrix. Perfectly agreed, right? But Jan 31st does not make any sense. So, my dear and dear students, so obviously all of us are left in a lurch. All of us are like, okay, now what, right? And my phone has not stopped ringing, I think, since yesterday morning. Continuous messages, WhatsApp. So Cedees has roughly around like 55 WhatsApp groups, and it keeps bombarding all the time, and most of them are actually panic attacks, right? So obviously, right? I mean, you're not, we were not even visualizing that particular date, and all of a sudden it comes off. Hundreds of students have sent memes, wonderful memes. Probably I'll just share it with all of us in the WhatsApp groups. I mean, it sometimes just takes the stress off. Sometimes we're wondering what to do. Should we laugh at the meme, or should we cry that the exam date is actually preponed, and a lot of stuff, my dear and dear students. So, my dear students, see, we cannot comprehend or understand why they do this. But the only way out to look into the whole thing is now, okay, now they've given a date, irrespective of what, let's get ready and let's fight for that particular examination. That is the reason why, my dear students, we keep insisting, at least in CDs, never miss your INI CET exam, because whenever there is a national level exam, we study for that. We prepare for that, and that intensified reading can only be done when there is an exam date which has come to you, right? But when they prepone the exam date, what happens is, instead of intensifying your preparation, most of us start feeling that "अगर अब ये तो नहीं हो सकता, we can't do it, we just can't do it." And somewhere that feeling of giving up comes in, because our mind, my dear students, always looks for the path of least resistance. Your mind is like, okay, exam is preponed, you have not done any studies, ab chhod do, we'll see next year, or something like that. And if anybody here, my dear and dear students, if you've been in CDs even for the last 2 months and you've been reading and studying, if you're having these thoughts, this kind of crazy thoughts, please stop it, right? See, because you never know. We had this felicitation yesterday in Cedees Davangere. It was supposed to be a beautiful day because we had toppers, the first rank, second rank, third rank, and all of them here, and with their parents, and beautiful day. And trust me, even though the felicitation program was going on, my mind was totally out. And I think students who were there in Davangere will know, because I was like, how do I calm my dear children? How do I calm my dear students? How do I calm you all? Because I can make out looking at your faces that like everybody is in a state of shock, right? But my dear students, okay, we go back to one saying which is very dear to me, that worrying, you must have heard of this. We are worrying about the date has got preponed. We get frightened that the exam has got preponed. But can worry solve your problem? Can being frightened solve your problem? Can giving into fear solve your problem? Boliye. See, you have your exam that is on Jan 31st. Okay, you get very frightened, you get very anxious. For the next 2 months, you're very frightened, very anxious. Will that solve your problem? Will that help you to get the government seat that you need? Or will that help you to get, I mean, not just government seat, army seat, deemed university seat, a government seat in a private college, whatever be the option? Will worrying or will being in fear help you to reach the goal that you need? Will it help you to get the seat that you need, my dear students? No. Worrying will not help you get anything. Yesterday we had the INICT topper, ranked number 17, Harshit from PGI Rohtak. The first rank also from PGI Rohtak. So wonderfully said. He said, "अरे टेंशन काय को ले रहे? I mean, why to worry? I mean, अगर मिल गया, if we get it, we'll get it. But if we don't get it, okay. But we will work. It was in process." And even Dr. Ashwini got the first rank in INICT. So he said, we were never ready for INICT. So we were all going ahead, with our preparation. INICT came in the way and we got the first rank. Nobody is ever 100% ready for any exam. All said and done, it's a very, very scary moment for all of us. And especially, I really, really feel sad for those interns who have just started your preparation, and some of you who are in the repeaters batch, you're still going to college, so the time that you have is less. And obviously, even if that is, even though, let us say that they have removed 1 month away, it's 1 month of our precious time which will really affect. And if the exam is in March 15th or March 18th or whatever it is not going to affect the NB in any way. But that 1.5 months of extra time will help all of us so much, like so much, especially all of them. I mean, bombard, I don't know what to tell, well, especially those students who have just started now, and you're finding it very difficult. Like, ab kya karu? Like, should I leave this topic? Should I pick this subject? Should I not do this? Should I do that? I'm sure that you have a lot of confusions in your mind, and let me get through this small little talk, and I'll just try to help you to prioritize a few things and put those things there, so that like, let us see, up to, if the exam is on Jan 31st, we have to write the exam. Anybody and everybody, even if you're starting your preparation from today, you're going to make every day count. Every day is precious. Every day is important, and let us give our best for those for that particular day, and let us work hard so that my dear students, that um, uh, uh, this NEET MDS date, if it's on Jan 31st, let it fulfill what all of us need. Let it help you to get the goal that you all need. Okay, so getting too anxious, getting too frightened, getting my dear students, worrying too much about it is not going to solve a single problem. It is not going to solve your problem. The only way how you can solve the problem is to take an action. So, worry and action are two different opposites. Worrying is all in the mind, not doing anything about it. Action is when you get down, you are frightened, but you get down and work for it. Like you must have heard of this famous thing, like, in a war, we always congratulate the people who fight, or even our soldiers who stand at the border, and we tell, oh, what brave soldiers. They say that, like, even the soldiers, even the bravest of the bravest soldiers, they all have that fear inside them, ki pata nahi kya hoga, I don't know what will happen. But despite the fear, they do it, and that is what is called bravery. Mountain Dew ad, डर के आगे जीते. It is something like that. So we have to overcome, my dear students. We have to overcome that fear. Do not give in to fear. Do not give in to, and don't make too very hasty decisions. Don't make, okay, I will sacrifice these subjects. I will do those subjects. I will. No, just wait. Just wait. Let us finish this small session, and I'm very sure that you'll have some clarity. Forget the clarity. I'm just removing the fear out of your hearts and minds right now so that you can sit back and you can focus and you can read and try to get back to your studies in a proper way. Okay? Right. Let's read this saying together. If you fall behind, run faster. Never give up. Never surrender. Rise up against the odds. So when you say rise up against the odds, right now I think you can imagine NB there and tell, okay, let me rise up against NB. Right? So it is something like that. If you fall behind, run faster. Never give up, never surrender, and rise up against the odds. Beautiful, very nice statement by Jesse Jackson. My dear students, so there's a few things which I want you to remember. Let's get back to what is it that we have learned so far. Point number one, worrying is not going to solve the problem. Getting too frightened is not going to solve the problem. But what is going to solve the problem, at least to a certain extent, when I take an action? What is that action? I'm going to study. How are you going to study? Let's discuss. Take you all of you? Done. Chalo. Okay. So I'm hoping that, the first thing is, okay, I know that I have a lot to do. I know that I have so much to study. I have lots to complete. You have everything in your mind. Your mind is breaking up right now, and because you have so much to do. But you only have to do it. Nobody else can do it. You are writing the exam. कुछ तो करके उसको, we have to make it smaller. We have to work as smart as possible right now, and that is how you are going to give some meaning for this 2 months of your preparation. Take care, all of you. Chalo, done. Let's see this. Now, what has NBE done? Now, this was supposed to be the month of December. This was supposed to be the month of January. And this was supposed to be the month of February. And your exam was, let's say, tentatively 1st or 8th of March or something like that. So what NB has done is they have just conveniently removed this month away, giving us just these 2 months to finish everything. And 1 month of precious time, even if you're studying, that's 30 days, at the rate of 8 hours per day is 240 hours of preparation time, which is core. I mean, I know the importance, my dear students, of those 240 hours. How much more can you do? How much more you can revise? You all know, like the day before the exam. Even if you have those 3 hours, and when you read so much, how much more can you revise in those 3 hours? So imagine 240 hours of lost time. Now it's like precious time that's just, I mean, for no fault of yours, it just disappeared. And that's a very, very sad, extremely sad. I don't know what to say, but no words to describe the depths of sadness which I'm sure all of us are going through. But let us think that, okay, ठीक है, बस, as I've said, अब worry हो गया, fear हो गया, I mean, worrying is done, fear is done, छोड़ दो, let's leave everything. Now let us study. Now let us take an action. What is the opposite of worry? Action. So let's take an action and let's fight. Let's give our best for this examination. If it's on Jan 31st, I'll fight. If it's on Jan 1st, I'll fight. If it is tomorrow, I'll fight. No problem. Never, ever, ever give up. Right? There's a word in Cedees we always follow, and that's our mantra. It's called persist. Till the last day, till the last minute, I will persist. We will see. Okay? Right. And my dear students, your teacher is there with you. Okay, I'm there with you. We'll see what best we can do to get through this moment. Okay, right now. So all of us know that there are at least two groups of students. Okay, there's one group of students who have really worked hard for the INI-CET. You have done your portions, you're almost ready, and now you have to charge yourself and do it. So that it's a little bit more easier for all of you. But let me just first discuss you all, and then I'll go back to the other group who have still so many things to do. Your pulse is not complete. You have not watched the lectures completely, and there's a lot of mismatch to what you have to do and what you have done. Right. So let me finish the smaller group first. The smaller group is one who have probably finished all the subjects and now doing the revision. Right. Okay. Now, just because you finished the portions, please don't be overconfident. Just because you finished the portions does not mean that you all know everything, right? And I think the recent INI-CET is a very clear indicator that how much ever you study, how much ever you finish, there is so much more to know. There is so much more to master ourselves on. Okay, all of you? Right. Now, let us see the best and the fastest way for all of you. See, when you're lost, my dears, let's say that you are in a dark room, right? And you don't know what to do and where to go. Suddenly, somebody lights a candle. So, the minute a candle is lit, what happens? You focus on the candle and you start walking towards the candle because you have a path. And when you have a path, you keep moving towards that. And that is the single most important thing, my dear and dear students, what you need now. Right. So if you've seen our if you've seen our NEET timetable, it was like an amazing timetable where every weekend, where every Sunday you finish two major subjects with one subject of pharmacology, and every 15 days you finish one topic of general medicine, right? So we split pharmac, we split general medicine, and that is how we do these subjects. And weekend by weekend we try to go ahead and finish everything, and we put up a lot, and we have these bullet exams coming, and you know how helpful they are if you're doing the bullet exams properly. You'll have some very tough bullet exams where probably all 30 questions you will not know anything. Doesn't matter. Those who have written INI-CET, you have part A. How was the part A? Many questions were like, who gave stretch reflex and things like that. You know? So you should get used to those kind of questions also, where in that 10 minutes you feel ki, kya ho raha hai yahan pe? What is going on, right? So it's an exam. So you will have those kind of bullet exams also guiding you through every day, right? So we try to do short blast. 10 minutes blast, right? So everything is a small process to take you through. So the example what I was giving you about the candle is your test series ka timetable. Okay? So when you're lost, you don't know what to do, which subject to take, you have a guideline. Okay. Now the series, your NEET mock exam would have got over on the 30th of Jan, on the exact date that you have, right? Now we will trim that timetable, and I think by tomorrow you will get your updated timetable. I'm waiting for the feedback from my staff. So once we get it by tomorrow evening, you will get your timetable ready and you're set. And you're set. Just try to follow the timetable as well as you can with small tweaking here and there. Right now, see, let us say this group of students who have finished everything and you want to read and revise and you want to give your test series to the complete, your best ability, you want to go ahead and complete it. Even then, there are a few things which you have to do. Right? Let us say that you are studying on an average of 8 to 10 hours. This is for students who are not doing your internship. Students are doing internship. Do whatever you can. If your college is not very strict, if you can take some time off, do whatever is needed. But let us crack that NEET when this exam comes. Okay, right. So let us assume that you're studying 8 to 10 hours. Some of them are studying 10 to 12 hours. Beautiful. And especially this core time, the last time, it's best to sit in a good place. If you have a reading room, if you have a library, or even if it is your own room at your place, at your home, but there should be absolutely no disturbance. No, when I say absolutely no disturbance, what I mean to say is mom and dad coming, some function at home and things like that. I think you should, like, try to keep away from everything. It's you, your books. Um, when I say books, it's basically your pulse, your lecture notes, and your BDS next step, and that's it, right? Nothing more than that. So that is where you should. So let us assume that you are studying around 8 to 12 hours a day. That is, depending on your level of studying. You have to give whatever happens around 2.5 to 3 hours for something extra beyond what you have in the test series ka timetable for that particular week. Let us assume that you have anatomy and dental histology this Sunday. So the whole of this time is going to be spent on studying anatomy and dental histology. But 2.5 to 3 hours every day, whatever happens, you have to do something extra. And especially after this date is Jan 31st, it is mandatory, even though you feel anatomy and DH is taking a lot of time. So what you have to do is, where there's too much of explanations in Pulse, until unless there is a good tabular column, or if there is some new information, or if there is some good fresh information, you read that, but don't overdo it. I mean, try to read each and every explanation in detail, sit with the explanation, keep thinking about it. No, you got to keep running, you got to keep moving, you got to keep, like the way I'm taking the lecture right now, you got to keep moving it. There should be a pace. And the faster you read, don't think that, okay, sir, I'm reading fast, will I be able to remember? Don't worry. Your mind remembers things at the speed at which you talk. You understanding what I'm saying? That is how any memory book will tell you that. So when you read, like for example, I'm reading a book, your brain is also taking in simultaneously the speed at which you are going to be reading. Right? So don't think only where there is a logic involved, a concept involved. But I'm sure logic and concept is what you guys have done for the whole year, right? The minute you watch one lecture, you've got the concept there. You've got the concept there. Like, for example, we have the anatomy exam coming. I've just taken a discussion on the cavernous sinus for the juniors. Like, for example, see, you're if you have seen the lectures, for example, you're standing inside the cavernous sinus, right? On the roof, you have the internal carotid artery and the optic chiasm and all that. Inferiorly, we have your foramen lacerum. Medially, we have the pituitary gland with your sphenoidal sinus. Laterally, we have the temporal lobe with your, and anteriorly, we have the medial end of superior orbital fissure. Posteriorly, we have your apex of petrous temporal bone. So what's going to happen is, there's going to be a lot of recall. So whenever you're going to have such concepts, concepts you already studied, you don't have to overdo it. Like, just go through the important points. Your brain has to just register what you've already studied. So just go through the points and tell, okay, I think I know that, right? And then keep pushing ahead. So your lecture notes, your priority always is to lean more towards the MCQs and not towards theory. Please keep that in mind. Synopsis is great, but synopsis sometimes cuts your speed. So approach it with a lot of caution. Okay. So MCQs, see, just put this in mind. MCQs are my strength. Pulse and BDS Next App are my go-to things. I have to spend time on them and keep revising it as many times as possible. They are my pillars who are going to help me to crack through this exam, because most of you all, this particular group, you've already watched the lectures, you've taken down the lecture notes. We have had mock exams in all of them. You have understood the concepts. Biochemistry, each and every cycle we have learned. Community, we have gone through epidemiology, biostats. Whether it is physiology, you have gone through and you've understood, a whole lot of stuff. You understood even sleep. Whether it is radiology, whether it is CBCT, whether it is MRI, whether it is each and everything we have explored. So your concepts are there. So please don't worry. It is not gone anywhere. Okay, it has not gone anywhere. Just yesterday evening, I was talking to one of the toppers of Cedees, and like she said, "Sir, मेरा पूरा mind block हो गया, sir. I don't know what to do." It's the same for everyone. Okay, now I would like to tell one thing. Most of you all, this particular group, you have been studying for the last 6 to 8 months. And those of you who are in Davangere, I know you guys are studying from 6:30 to night 11:30. You are giving your best and you are studying. What is it that you have done for the last 6 to 8 months? You've been studying, correct? Now, if you give up, whatever you have studied for so long is gone. Do you want it to go? just because somebody has made a mistake of giving a particular date. Do you want your hard work, the amount of effort that you guys have put, the amount of tears you just come out looking at that pulse or reading it, or trying to understand those lectures, the amount of time that you spend watching this kurta fellow or this shirt fellow talking lectures and trying to give you knowledge. So you spend so much of time. Just that because you get frightened now, and you get scared now, it should not, take away everything that you've done for the last 6 to 8 months. You have to use that and tell, okay, now let me blast ahead for these next 2 months and let me get what I truly deserve. Never, ever, ever have this feeling of, like, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm no, आपको सिर्फ पढ़ना है बस. ठीक है, all of you? Okay, so you have to do this 2 now see what is this 2.5 to 3 hours you will do. Two things can be done. One, wherever you are the weakest, let us say that we have anatomy and dental histology, okay, but prosto is worrying you. I'm worried about RPD. Start prosto. For the next 2 or 3 days, in the 2.5 to 3 hours, you can do prosto, or you can do RPD, or you can do FPD, or probably you're weak in endo, or probably you're weak in conservative materials, or probably you're weak in epidemiology, probably you're weak in fluorides. There's one chapter in Pulse regarding this miscellaneous of community, which is horrible, and every MCQ is not a single MCQ is related to the other MCQ, so mugging up or learning becomes very difficult, right? And community is a subject. For example, when was the Grand Rapids started? Okay, Jan 25th, 1945. It should come out like that. 1977, Village Health Guide Scheme was given. 1864, Red Cross started. 1920, Red Cross came into India. Things like that, so the values, values, dates, right? Indices. I'm talking of community. So you have a lot of stuff which you can do in this 2.5 to 3 hours, and it should, whether you're a topper, whether you are like just below the topper, jo bhi hai, you have to give this 2.5 to 3 hours for doing something, my dear and dear students, where you feel that you are a little bit weak. There is another thing. If you feel that, okay, I'm confused what to do, all subjects are same for me, then what you have to do is look into your test series timetable, the new test series timetable which we will be giving. So the subjects towards the end, you will finish this test series timetable by the 20th of Jan. And I don't want to hurry up and, like finish by end of Jan, by end of December, end of Jan, you guys will not do anything, right? So what you have to do is, the last ka jo subjects hai, jo test series mein, whatever test subjects are there in the test series, towards the end, you'll start doing those subjects here, right? So you're going to follow this pattern, right? During the morning time, almost like, let's say, if you're studying 8 to 12 hours, like let's say 6 hours or 7 hours, you will study whatever is there for the exam. And the evening 2.5 to 3 hours, you will start focusing on the subjects which are coming towards the end. So what's going to happen? It's going to be a crisscross. So when you keep moving ahead with the subjects which you have for the test series, you're also simultaneously completing the subjects which are there towards the end. So when those subjects come towards the end, you already revised those subjects once. So those subjects will be done. That will be your second or third reading of those topics when you're reaching the end of the test series. On the other hand, when you're reaching towards the end, you will start revising the subjects which you're starting off, like anatomy, dental histology. The weekend after that, it's general surgery, oral surgery, pharmaca topic that is on central nervous system, and all of that which is done. So what's going to happen? It's going to be a criss and a cross, and a criss and a cross. So you're going to follow that, and you're going to do this for the next 1.5 months. So this 2.5 to 3 hours is your breathing space. The space for you to do, besides the test series, for doing whatever you want to do. Right? Give your bullet exam, 10 minutes. Give your exams every Sunday, subject-wise exams. One on pharmac, other one on the subject. And then wait for the test series. You will have all subject mocks, matlab all subject mocks also being introduced. And there will be 1 or 2 live exams initially, and then we upload those all subject mocks, so it will help you to get, I suppose, your learning community, at the same time you're solving an ad question. So it will help you there, right? And the last 10 days, you will have a mock every alternate day, just like how we had it for the INICET, with the same pattern as prescribed for the NEET exam. Let us wait for the application form, which is probably expected in a week from now. So you will know how to balance that particular thing. Okay, done, all of you. Now, again, my dear students, you have basics and you have clinicals, right? You have basics and clinicals. Both are extremely important, right? But when in doubt, lean more towards the clinicals. When in doubt, lean more towards the clinicals. I mean to say, you have biochemistry and you have ortho. I'm weak in both. Which will you pick? Pick ortho. Am I clear? That is what you should have in your mind, right? It's not that biochem is more scary. Ortho, I think I can manage. Let me do biochem. Go on. You're making a mistake there. That's not smart reading, right? That is you're reading out of fear. You're not wondering which subject is important for me in the exams, where I can score, where more questions are coming. You're not thinking of all that. You're just frightened of biochemistry. You're going to read biochem, which may come for 2 or 3 marks for exams, and ortho may come for 14 or 15 marks. Now, you tell me, my dear students, where you should have spent more time. So that is individual taste. Everybody's taste is different, right? I like my coffee in a different way. You might like your coffee in a different way. You might not like coffee at all. So that is your individual taste, right? So my dear students, you have to mix and match your this one, and then go ahead and do it, right? So your go to things are your pulse, your BDS next step. They are your strength. Lecture notes, whatever you have, institute papers, you'll be here, and yeah, whatever notes you are prepared from extra books like like Jitendra Sharan, or probably your Sparsh Gupta for pharmacology, Sparsh Gupta for pathology. Some of you must have done microbiology, Arvind Arora. Whatever notes you have, it is not mandatory. I know this lecture will be heard by many students, and don't start getting scared. Sir, मेरा pulse ही नहीं खत्म हुआ, and then you're speaking of these books. Please don't worry. If you've followed the lectures, if you've done the lecture notes, if you've done pulse, and of course your BTS next step, you've covered 85 to 90% of what is needed. So don't worry. If you've not done these books, this is not the time for you to touch it. But if you've done these books before, please revise it. Otherwise, whatever you have done before is lost if you don't revise it, which has to be done. Okay, right. You got to be smarter. We cannot waste time. You got to keep running and just keep thinking of one thing. My exams, my studies, my hard work. I'm not going to think about anything else. No fear, no anxiety. It will be there, but I'll not give in to that. Okay, it will be foolish on my part to tell, don't get frightened. You will get frightened. You will get scared. You will get anxious. See, I must have taken how many lectures now? Only in CDs, if you see for the last 19 years, in a year, on an average of 100 to 1, long back, I should take more lectures, right? So let us assume that there are so many lectures. I've taken, like thousands of lectures, right? Besides all my guest lectures here, there. Even now, the first 2 minutes of any lecture, I come forward to speak, there is some kind of an anxiety inside me. Okay, what are you going to do talk today? What are you going to, like that. After thousands of lectures, still, that small bit of anxiety or anxiousness is always there. But we overcome that and we do whatever we want to do. And that is how it should be for you, right? You will be frightened. You will be anxious. You will feel underconfident. It is normal. It is like your ECG. Correct? Huh? So it is never straight, right? You'll have the P wave, you'll have the QRS wave, you'll have the T wave, and things like that. But it is never a straight line. So you'll have ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, but we will overcome that. Is that okay, all of you? Done. Sure. Now, the most important group. The group that is interns, the group who, interns in the sense who have just finished internship. For example, INICT second rank, Dr. Sanya was here. She's from GDC Mumbai. She just completed her internship in September, and she got the second rank in INICT. And this January 1st, she's going to enter into AIMS Delhi. Can you beat that? All right. So obviously, and she was in GDC Mumbai. She was in a government college where there are patients. So telling that, sir, my internship kar raha tha, I could not study, cannot be used as an excuse always, right? If you wanted to study, we could have, correct? But now it is okay. Now what is done is done. Let us make the best use of whatever time we have and let us work hard for it. Okay? Okay. Now, my dear students, your group will be the most frightened, and I've received lots of WhatsApps. So let me address you all very in a way which, wherein you will actually prioritize your smart reading instead of getting frightened and scared. Okay, done. Chalo. Now, we have basics and we have clinicals. Okay. There are many of you who have told me, sir, because we have started studying around 2 months back, we have lectures to complete. And my dear students, what happens now? If you don't understand the concept, you're blindly mugging up MCQs, which is useless. Useless. Correct. Now, as I gave you the example of cavernous sinus, right? Um, what structure do you have above the cavernous sinus? So, in the let us say the options are ECA, ICA, subclavian artery, or jobia. And once you've seen the diagram and you've understood it, you will never make a mistake. You know that it is an internal carotid artery. But if you've not done that and you've just mugged an MCQ, right? In the exam, they can ask you anything. Okay, in that MCQ, you studied that roof pe ICA hai, but they might ask you immediately, what do you see? Now, what do you do? Correct now. So, lectures is always the foundation. Then comes the MCQ. Now, as of now, what is happening is there is a time crunch, right? So, for all of you who joined late, or interns who feel that there are some lectures remaining, still please follow this. Okay? Let us assume that you're working hard and how much ever you are studying, let's say you're studying around 8 hours a day or something like that, you will spend that 2 to 2.5 hours what I was speaking to everybody else, the other group of students who have finished their thing. 2 to 2.5 hours every day is going to be kept for your lectures at least till the end of this month, and whatever happens by December 20th, by Christmas Day, whatever happens, make sure that your lectures are done and finished. But do not spend more than 2.5 hours. Please don't do that, because at the end it is MCQ time. So you got to spend the whole of this, my dear students, studying and working hard on your MCQs, and that is your strength, whether you're a student who has finished everything or a student who is still studying. So MCQs are your strength. Make sure that you spend only around 2.5 hours for lectures, and quickly watch them, or I don't know, 1.5 speed jo bhi hai. Just make sure that you grab everything. You can't make too much of notes at this point. Only if it is very volatile, if it is something very new, you're not understood the concept at all, then probably you can write down the most important data there, so you can get back to it later. First and foremost, never think, oh my God, is it possible? I have so much to do. Don't compare. And if you compare, you will stop studying. You'll have this headache in your head ki, kya main kar sakta hu, nahi kar sakta hu, anxiety attacks and all that. Please, my dear students, it's perfectly normal. Dr. Sanya, who had come here for the felicitation, she said, "Sir, I was okay, sir. I was studying, but I never had the hopes that I will get into INSAT, right?" And I believe her mother saw the results first, and the mother saw the medical results, medical ka INSAT roll number, and she said, "Okay, you're not there." And she accepted it with grace. Okay, I'm not there. Maybe I've not qualified. Maybe I've not done well. That is what she thought. And then later, of course, it's a long story, but she realized she got the second rank. So one thing you should realize, my dear students, is we never know how good you are, right? And if you give up here and there, then you have actually given up, which should never be done. Okay, so we persist, we keep studying, we keep going till the last minute, keep do whatever you can, so you don't feel guilty. How many time waste kiya? You should not. See, I always tell that after you've written the exam, there is only one. You don't have to worry about your parents, about your friends. वो क्या बोलेंगे, ये क्या बोलेंगे. I mean, what that person will tell. Who are they? I don't know if you have seen my the 3 circles of life lecture. If you have not, please watch it on YouTube. You are not bothered about anybody else. You should not be bothered about anybody else. You have to be answerable only to your conscience, and if you feel, okay, I have worked hard, Mena, I have given my 100% effort for my studies, you will not feel bad. You will accept the result as it is. But if you waste these 2 months and then you write the exam, and somehow the exam seems to be a pretty easy exam, a pretty good exam, which you could have done with that amount of hard work, and they're going to prick you like anything. It is very sad, especially for the interns and for those repeaters, for the repeater batch, or in some colleges they call it odd batch, jo bhi hai, because 1.5 months is 1.5 months. It's very precious. There's no doubts about it. Very, very, very precious, right? But let us make the best of what we can for the next 2 months. Whatever we can, how much ever we can. Okay? So try to follow the test series, because that will give you a small guideline, and try to push yourself slowly through. Only if you're very new, if you've just joined yesterday or last week or something like that, then test series will be a bit of a problem for you all. Then you start focusing on completing your lectures and your MCQs in this order, right? Otherwise, as much as possible, try to follow the test series. Now, basics and the clinicals, right? How much should I do? And if I can compromise somewhere. My dear students, this is not for the students who have given INI-CET well. I'm talking of the remaining 80% of the students who have a lot of subjects or maybe subjects remaining here and there. Okay. Now, I've always told you that clinicals are more important than basics. Point number one. Right. So in basics, I have so many basics. Is there a category? Yes, there is a category. And let's understand that category very well. Category number one. The most important subjects for NEET, which you should prioritize, are anatomy, pharmacology, dental materials, DADH. This is your number one among all the basic subjects which you have to stress, focus, blast, and you can score marks. Anatomy is super duper important. Pharmac, very important. If you have followed all Cedees lectures, you would have got, you've done all the classifications. Just do the questions in your app, and I think your job is done, right? DM, DA, DH, we have covered so much in detail, so it should be pretty easy. Do the MCQs off, and I think your job is done. But these are the number one priority for your basic subjects. Number two, category two, as we call them, they will be physiology, general path, and general surgery. Okay? This is number two. In the sense, first you finish these off. And then you have physio, patho, and general surgery. This is, we call it number two. Like in the sense, very important subjects because general path, sometimes, my dear students, is like, it can come for like 10 marks, 15 marks because NEET also loves the basics. General surgery also can come. You can score. Even what you do in Pulse is more than sufficient. And if you followed the lectures, your job is done. Physio. Why? Because when you look at medicine, you have physio on one side, you have patho, you have pharmac, and you have medicine. Medicine, as such, if you try to explore and go in detail, you'll spend 3 months of time, which we don't need. Look at any INSET exam, even look at the NEET exams, right? Do patho well, do physio well, do pharmac well. And core medicine topics like murmurs or something on bronchial asthma or things like that. Like if you followed Sir lectures in the app, there's something called Sir lectures. Watch that and you do your pulse off. I think you get a lot of information, and the MCQs which is there in your app will take you through, right? Do the previous years PYQs. My dear students, some of you are asking me, what is PYQ? My God, PYQ is previous year questions. Pulse ke piche, whatever is there after synopsis, they're very, very important. Please make sure you do that well. Okay? And the third category is where you will spend a lot of time, but return is less. Investment is more, return is less. ROI, return on investment is very less. They are biochem, micro, and general medicine. Okay? So these three, like for example, you've not done micro at all. You can, and there's no doubt that you have to do all the subjects, right? But the order of importance, I'm speaking about the order of importance only, not that, sir, isko main hata दूं क्या? नहीं, नहीं. Please do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to. That will be the biggest blunder from your side. But the order of priority and where you'll have to stress more, where the return on investment is higher, this is the order of subjects in which you have to complete them. Is that okay, all of you? So this is only for students who have subjects pending and you're a little bit struggling. So this will give you a small guideline key. What is it that I should focus on? So what about clinicals? Do all clinical subjects, right? So if your pattern could be 80 marks for basics and it could be 120 marks for clinicals, right? So again, clinicals will have a huge number of portions coming. It's very difficult for them to divide as 100 and 100, which they'll not do. So it will be 80 basics and 120 clinicals. Let's wait for the announcement. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen to the date. You never know what's going to happen to your exam pattern and everything. So it's all a mess right now. The only thing that we can do is to keep studying, right? What is it that you should not do? Getting frightened, getting too frightened, and worrying too much, getting too anxious, all these are low vibrational energy states. Bhul jao. Elevate yourself. Be strong. Be good. Fight. Fight. Persist. Give in your best, my dear students, and it'll all be all right. Okay, right? I think I have covered a little bit more. And those of you, of course, in CDs, I'll speak a little bit more about all of this when I take my next session. I'll be taking a session on I think anti-Parkinsonian drugs, and also a session on anatomy, just to cover up a few of the areas where I feel that you should stress on. So I'll continue speaking about your timetable and making and reading and all that with these lectures, and I'm sure that they will put you on track. Obviously, they will be uploaded in your BDS Next app. Okay, right? So this is how your basics are actually categorized for your NEET. Clinicals to आपको you have to do everything. Right? There's no doubt that prostho, cons, and oral surgery would be very important, followed by perio and ortho and all of that. But prostho, cons, and oral surgery, if you feel that if you're weak in that, I think you'll have to start focusing on that a little bit. Irrespective, let us keep this particular date, Jan 20th, as the deadline for all of you to complete your portions nicely, as well as possible. Again, don't do only the questions what you have marked out. That we can probably keep for the last 10 days. So until 20th, try to read, revise faster, sit for longer hours. I had put up a message this morning. The one of the fastest and the best way to break this time crunch is that, see, nobody can stop you from reading, right? And we can prepone, postpone exam, वो अलग बात है. But nobody can stop you from reading. If you have decided that I will study 12 hours a day, you're going to study 12 hours a day. If you have decided that I will study 1 hour a day, you will study 1 hour a day. So the choice is yours. But let us decide that I will give my best, I'll work hard until the last day, and the best only will happen. Okay, so please don't worry, my dear and dear students. um, um, I know that studying for an entrance exam is not easy, because every day we are doubting ourselves. We are not getting patted on the back, like, Acha, I have completed glycolysis. Nobody's coming to congratulate you or tell you, oh, wonderful, you understood glycolysis, and things like that. So it's a minor victory we have every day. Every day you're getting small, small goals. You're winning, but we don't realize it. We see only the larger picture. Sir, मैं अच्छा नहीं हूँ and all that, and that will affect you. No, no, no. Every day, if you're reading something which you have not understood before, every day if you've learned a new concept, it's a victory. So every day has been a day where you have been successful. So just take that success into you, my dear students, and keep going ahead. Okay, and I'm there until the last minute. Until your NEET exam is done, I'll be there to guide you and push you through. If the exam gets postponed to March, we will have another test series immediately after that and take it all the way till March. If it is going to be in April, we will continue till April. If it is going to be in May, we'll continue till May. Don't worry about it. We will, only thing is, from your side, as of now, remove the fear. I wish I could hypnotize you all. Remove the fear, take out everything, and just continue reading, right? Those of you who are on CDs will know what is the deep breath technique, what we do, or closed eye therapy. I believe a lot in my closed eye therapy. You keep your eyes closed and, keep breathing up and down and keep talking to yourself. Okay, I have to do so much. It's looking a little bit difficult. I'm getting a little frightened. My friends are doing better than me. But can you do anything about all of that? No. If your friend is doing better than you, can you stop him? No. So, what is the only thing that you can do? I'll get up now. I'll become better myself. I'll give my best, and let me continue. Okay. Never feel ill towards anybody. We are not in the business of hurting and getting jealous of somebody's success, or getting jealous because that person is reading better than me, or things like that. Nothing matters. You be good to yourself, be a good person. Focus on your improvement, focus on your happiness, focus on keeping your mind free of everything. Just focus on your studies, and everything will go fine. Let me end with this wonderful thing. uh, Lovely poem. Life may be tough, things will get rough, there will be bad days, It may all seem like a haze, okay, like fog. But through it all, always, just look at that. Stand tall. Because giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. अरे ऑप्शन ही नहीं है मुझे सीट लेना ही है आई हैव टू टेक दैट सीट राइट नेवर टर्न योर बैक एंड रन through good times and bad, through happy times and sad, as long as you keep moving, you will never stop growing. I hope this is quite clear to all of you. Let's keep moving ahead. Let's keep barging ahead. Let's give in our best. Let's just give. Let's just continue, my dear students. And as long as you keep moving forward, nobody will stop you, right? See, two options. Either tomorrow you'll be fully worried and scared and all that and waste your day. Or what is the opposite of worry? Action. Let me act on it. Let me act on it. And the more you act on it, the better you become. The more you act on it, you start feeling a little bit more confident. Fear starts subsiding away. Anxiety starts becoming lesser, and you start moving it. Okay. I'm very sure that this NEET drama will continue, and all of you are going to go through a tough phase. I can see it happening because it has been happening literally every year. Part, like one pendulum, it's going to move. I don't know what's going to happen. But as of now, Jan 31st is the date, and I'm going to fire for it. Let them keep the exam on Jan 1st. I'll still fire for it. Every day, I will study as much as I can. Okay? Do not compare. So these people have done that. These people have done that. अरे करने दो यार. You focus on what you can do. You focus on what you can study, and that is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Nobody can remove the fear from you. There is no black magic and like things like, oh, your fear is gone. No, you have to remove it from inside. Calm yourself down. Talk to yourself. Okay, done. The date has come. It's not what I expected, but I will give my best for the next 2 months, and then we'll see whatever happens. We will see. बाद में देख लेंगे है ना अब अपना काम है now our job is to study our job is to work hard and I'm sure that things will go fine. I've kept you all for a pretty long time. Wishing you all the very best. I'll keep talking to you all as I keep taking lectures in our Davangere Center, and I'll pump you all up from time to time. Take care, all of you. God bless. God bless. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Never. Giving up is not an option. Take care. Bye bye.